All right, my friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Brian, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about another way for you to start your expat journey without even leaving the comforts of your home country, specifically if you're in North America or the United States. And that option is to start full-time RVing, which is very different than just staying in like a weekend campsite or staying in vacation homes. All right. Now, the reason why full-time RVing or even half-time RVing is a great stepping stone into the expat life and nomadic lifestyle is it teaches you many of the same skills about downsizing and what you really need to live and travel abroad with. Right. So the skill set is almost exactly the same. Okay. Now, one thing it does is it shows you that one item can be used for several different tasks. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, you want to have like one item that can do 2 or 3 different things. And that's very important when you're full-time RVing because it kind of limits or at least saves space, right? So one item kind of fits many functions is basically kind of what we're looking at here. Okay. Now, another thing it does is it teaches you how to connect to different services while you're traveling. So Wi-Fi, cellular, using different functions on your phone you're probably not even using right now. Things like, like Wi-Fi calling and hotspot and tethering, and how to track your data and use all of that. Okay. Oftentimes when you're basically at home, you're not using a lot of these functions on your phone, but they all exist. And, when you start full-time RVing and also when you start traveling, these are the skills you're going to start to learn how to actually use, okay? And also, full-time RVing teaches you how to live in smaller spaces, okay? How to pack, okay? How to move, how to unpack, and how to start living again. It's that kind of, again, that slow travel concept that's very common with expats who are actually traveling and living abroad, okay? Again, so many of these same skills that you're going to learn, right? Full-time RVing are to apply very easily over into the expat travel for traveling internationally. Okay. Now, before I started living internationally myself, I did exactly this thing. Okay. I became part of the RV community for many years, and I full-time RV'd for over a year in the United States, and I was part-time RVing on and off, while I was on certain work projects. So I am actually speaking from experience. Okay. I went and started full-time RVing. I purchased a 35-foot Fleetwood Bounder Class A. It was a used motor coach with 2 slides. It needed some TLC. You can need some repairs on everything, which I wound up actually doing myself. I flat towed my little Jeep Liberty behind it, so when I move from place to place. And I'm fairly mechanical, so yes, I wound up buying this rig that needed some repairs, and it saved me a lot because I was able to save a lot up front, but I was able to do some repairs on the back end. Okay, so yeah, I wound up actually swapping out the shocks. I did that. I replaced some of the external lighting. I actually wound up rebuilding the bathroom. So I did some major repairs to this. I even included, I actually pulled out the dinette, and I wound up building a home office inside the RV. So yes, it was a fun time, and the skills I learned by doing that, by living in the RV, helped me so much more and to be much more of a flexible traveler, and also really prepared me for international living. So I can highly recommend this as a pathway if you're looking at stepping into this expat lifestyle. Full-time RVing is something you definitely want to consider. All right, so how do you begin looking into full-time RVing as an option? Well, my recommendation is to buy an RV, not rent, okay? This is the one time I'm actually going to suggest this, that making the purchase is better than testing the waters by renting first, okay? So renting an RV, you'd be really surprised, can be extremely expensive, okay? But you need to choose what is best for you. Now, first off, you're going to have to sit there and spend some time looking at what style of RV you're gonna want, okay? There's Class A, Class B, Class B+, Class C, which is the classic over-the-cab, motorhome. There's so many different styles, or maybe, you already have a truck. Maybe you have like a Ford F-150, or a Ram or something, and you want to basically tow an RV, okay? So that could be a travel trailer, a toy hauler, and if you have, a larger, basically, like a dually or something, you want to maybe tow a 5th wheel. I mean, that's another option. So there's just so many options. It's going to be hard to kind of go into everything here. But the thing is choosing what fits best, and, don't sell yourself short, right? If you're going to look at this going full time, you might want to get something that's going to be, again, it's going to be probably it's going to feel big, but it's going to really fit that need when you're out there full time. So again, There's a lot of options out there, so it really depends on what you have. If you already have a vehicle or something like that, that's going to maybe make a decision for you there. Like I said, if you've got a big truck, okay? But one big concept, right, we need to address is that RVing is very different than just simple camping, okay? It's a very different concept, right? You don't look at your RV like I had my Class A motor coach, right? Or if you have a travel trailer or anything else, you don't look at your RV as something that is that you're driving all the time or you're moving all the time, okay? Basically the way it goes is you're looking at specific destinations, different parks and everything else that you're going to basically travel to, and then you're going to, if you have, like let's say a Class A, you may have something that's called a dinghy, okay? Which was my Jeep Liberty, right? So you're gonna flat tow or tow on a trailer, basically a vehicle behind you, right? Or if you are doing the travel trailer, you're going to have, your truck or something that's going to basically go with you. So you're going to move your RV from location to location and then use that vehicle that you bring with you as your daily driver. So this is the thing. Some of you, you're going to look at, these large RVs and be like, oh my God, that the gas mileage is horrible, okay? For example, my Fleetwood Bounders that I had, my Class A 35 footer, that got like 8 to 9 miles a gallon. I mean, it did not get good gas mileage. But again, you're not driving it every single day. In fact, you're driving it maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm only putting a few hundred miles on it between locations, because that's just it. When you're full-time RVing, you're moving every couple weeks to a new location. Sometimes you may only move every couple months. Right, so the gas bill for your motor coach is going to be pretty small. I mean, mine, because when I was moving it every 2 or 3 weeks, cost me around $150 to $200 per month on gas. But I was only going like 300 or 400 miles, on every trip. So it didn't cost me a lot, or at least, every month. It didn't cost me a lot. It was my local vehicle, actually, that I was using, my little Jeep Liberty. That's the one that was my daily driver, right? So that's the concept you need to think about when you're looking at full-time RVing, okay? And it's exactly that same mental concept you want to have when you're stepping into more international travel as well. This is what we refer to as slow travel. So you're going to go to a destination, right, as an expat. So if you're traveling internationally, not RVing, but you're traveling internationally as an expat, all right, you're going to go to a location. You're going to basically, park yourself there for a couple weeks or a couple months, right? And you're going to do the exact same thing you would do if you were RVing. You're going to go to a location, you're going to rent a place, whether it's Airbnb or, some vacation home. You're going to stay there for a couple weeks or a couple months, right? And surprisingly, it's going to feel exactly the same, right? And it's going to save you a lot of money by doing that as well, okay? Rather than trying to like hop from hotel to hotel, okay? Now the second piece of the puzzle when it comes to like RV traveling, okay, is going to like RV parks and the destinations where you want to travel to. And trust me, there's a huge RV community in the North America, and so in the Canada and US, especially the US, there's a huge community. So there's always people giving you advice, telling you where to go, they recommending places, and this is what makes RVing such a great option if you want to basically step in and start learning the ropes of slow travel, because there's such a large community and support community, okay? It's already established and it's very easy to step into, and everyone is very, very helpful, okay? Now, one consideration that you need to take into account when you're full-time RVing, again, it's these RV parks and your destinations, is that is an extra cost as well, okay? You need to kind of incorporate that into your RV budget, okay? You're not just gonna buy an RV, drive to a location and park, okay? It's going to be two pieces. You're going to have the purchase of the RV, and then you're going to have the second piece, which is going to be where you're going to park it. Where are you going to rent space to park your RV? It's just how the whole system works. So there's really two pieces there. Right? Now, most RV parks will support full hookups, which means you're going to have electric, water, and sewer connected to your RV. Or if you want to be more adventurous, there's something that's called boondocking, which is camping off-grid, right? And using basically the features of your coach that may have such, generators, solar power, propane gas, whatever it is, but you're basically disconnected from services, okay? Now, for my Class A that I had, okay, usually when I was traveling between destinations, I had about 6 days that I could comfortably live in my my RV without any hookups at all. And I'm talking, I still got hot showers, I still got AC, still had a full bathroom, cold refrigerator, right? Because that ran on gas. Had, full kitchen available to me. So I can go almost a full week, right? With carrying my own water and everything. and it felt like I was living still, you know, in any RV park. So that's the one reason why I went with kind of a bigger coach and also a Class A, because it gave me that option to kind of be off grid for at least a week, right? And this is something else you want to think about. Your RV, you don't think of it as a vehicle, okay? The RV, you kind of think of it as a home that you're moving from location to location. That's going to be the key about full-time RVing. You're not just looking at it like, oh, I'm buying a car. No, you're buying a home, and then that vehicle you bring with you, that is going to be basically your dinghy. That's going to be what you're going to use to travel locally after you've moved your RV, okay? And this is also why I recommend buying a used RV, because the cost is going to be significantly lower. You're not going to get that hit right off the lot like you do when you're actually purchasing a vehicle. And guess what? You get to resell it as well, right? And so a lot of times you can get a lot of your investment back out of that, right, after you've traveled for a year or two. And that's something that I highly recommend. All right, so there you have it, my friends. There's my recommendation for you. If you're looking at a different way to jump into kind of a new chapter of life, start looking at more mobile living and kind of a nomadic expat lifestyle, okay? Look at full-time RVing. It's definitely an option, okay? Well, I hope you found this video helpful. Chat about it in the comment section, and until next time, thanks for watching, my friends, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.